Today, I'm excited to welcome Lawrence Mackey, a powerhouse entrepreneur and education innovator from right here in Brisbane. He's the founder behind the Tech Skill Academy, ranked one of Australia's top training providers, and the visionary behind Open Education Academy and other ventures that have amassed in excess of $100 million collectively in sales. Lawrence also hosts the popular Business Beats podcast with over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, where he uncovers real-world insights from top founders and leaders. In this episode, we dive into property investing, AI, entrepreneurship, and the mindset needed to be a top 1% investor. I hope you enjoy. Lawrence.
Yes.
Welcome.
Great. Thank you for having me.
It's awesome to have you, besides the coffee spill in the lobby earlier.
Yeah. I've never dropped a coffee and it landed perfectly without spilling.
Did Henry get it on footage?
I think he got it on camera. Yeah,
okay, cool.
Cool.
We might
Cool. You'll see that coming soon.
Awesome, buddy. Mate, I really want to get into, discussing some of your background and your successes as an entrepreneur in your businesses and how that relates to your property investing as well, and mindset in general, right? Over the last 15 years, you've scaled multiple businesses, right? We're talking 7-8-figure businesses. What experiences have most shaped the way in which you view leadership and growth today?
Well, look, it happens over a period of time, right? I think, even talking to young entrepreneurs, they think they can run their business immediately the way that everyone else does. And it just never plays out like that. So, I've made a lot of mistakes. And I think without mistakes, it's really hard to build successful businesses, right? That said, the caveat would be leadership is probably at the center of everything for me right now. In startup, it's a little bit different, right? Because you've got to be, you've got to be the IT guy, the sales guy, the BD guy, the CEO, and the COO, right? And the CFO. You've got to be all those people.
You've got to be everything.
Yeah, you've got to be everything to everybody. So it's very, very difficult. So, I think there's a course of action over a time horizon for business, for entrepreneurs. That includes mindset and psychology as well. I just don't think it happens immediately. But, I think from my success that I've had, and we've had some amazing success, especially in the last few years, it just took time to get there, right? And I think it's about analysis. I think it's about holding yourself accountable. And I think one of the biggest things is leadership. And the thing about young people, even if they're trying to get in a property, they're trying to start a company to generate wealth, to build a property portfolio, is that it just takes time.
Yeah.
Like these young kids, and by the way, I'm 145. So these young kids, right, they think they can do it in 12 months. I can make $1 million in net worth in 12 months. Well, that's actually not true. Unless you come from a very wealthy family and you've got the opportunity to be presented with huge, easy opportunity to step into something that can generate wealth really quickly. But if you're like me, who grew up poor in a poor family with low socio-demographics, you have to earn that, right? So that just takes time. That's probably one of the biggest things is the time horizon, right? People underestimate what they can do in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the difference. That was a big lesson for me, for sure.
There you go. And I think the rise of social media as well, with course bros or individuals online that they see maybe in Miami or wherever in a rented Lamborghini, they think, geez, they're all of a sudden making this much money. I could do that super easy and quick too. Because everyone online makes it look easy, but you don't see the what's going on in the background and all those things that you just mentioned. That are required to run a successful business. Everyone thinks it's a lot easier than it is until you get out there and do it, right?
Yeah, most of that stuff on social media is bullshit. I'll be honest with you. It's just all bullshit. And people are seeing that and they think that that's just the way it is. So it pulls that time horizon really close to them, right? They go, oh, well, this guy's talking about he's 22 and he's driving around in a Lamborghini. What they don't realize, he doesn't fucking own that Lamborghini.
Yeah.
He's rented that Lamborghini. Now, I get that that's a strategy for social media to get clicks, so they can sell their course or their marketing strategy or whatever it is they're doing. But you ask any multimillionaire or billionaire, right? It takes time. It takes time to build a property portfolio to generate really deep wealth for yourself and your family, and it takes time to build it to scale a business that's got security wrapped around it. Because even if you've got a $10 million company, that can fall over. Like you're not there yet. But if you can build, and look, I just think it's about systems as well, but that's another story. But you're right. Everything is very instant and reactive right now, especially because of social media, right? Like we should have a no social media day. Like everyone, there's like all the social media platforms shut down for one day, so everyone gets a bit of a reset. That's what I think sometimes.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah,
The powers that be won't allow that.
Yeah. We should send an email to Zucks and say, Zucks, shut down Meta for one day a year and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, maybe users will go up. Who knows? But they might make it fucking worse. I don't really know.
Who knows? I think they just switched platforms. That's why he won't do it. They'll probably go to TikTok.
Probably will.
Mate, so with your business, your work sits at the center of education, right?
Yeah.
Now, looking at that, how has your definition of success evolved over time? Because you know, growing up that poor boy, it sounds, you know, we didn't grow up with...
That sounds down and destitute,
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, look, we didn't grow up with trust funds, you and I. I come
100%.
from Western Sydney, and, you know, my parents didn't own their home.
Yeah.
But you know what? I ate very well. I was a fat kid, let's face it. I ate well. I did, you know, I got all the opportunities growing up in Australia, and for that, I'm blessed. And that's like you with New Zealand, and you moved over to Australia. Obviously, over time, it's changed. You know, how has that changed?
Well, everything's changed. Like the whole world has changed. Society has changed. Governance and governments have changed, right? There's always this sort of cyclical change in anyone's life, right? I always think you go through 3 stages in life. Some people, maybe 4. So everything changes all the time. You know, I do hear people say, "Oh, no one, it's really hard to change." Well, that's actually not true. It's pretty easy to change. So there's a constant change in the market right now, psychologically, commercially, financially, fiscally. Economics on the planet are changing.
Yeah.
Diversity, everything is changing, right? I'm saying commercial diversity, not the other one, because you know I've been watching Davos. You know, the World Economic Forum is happening in Switzerland and Davos, and watching a lot of data coming out of there and what people are saying. You know, and even the inclusion of a new president, a new administration, a new White House, right? So there's a lot of influence happening around the planet. Like things are just changing. So how does it affect business, right? So I'm diversifying, right? I think education's awesome. I think it's, you know, it's kind of, you know, we're not selling sugary snacks to teenage children and give them diabetes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can wake up in the morning, look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, let's. We actually are starting to wrap our key metrics around how many people, because we help people register companies.
Yep.
Get licensed and increase their income. Like those are our 3 pillars on what we do as a byproduct of our product. So we're locking in on that now. But I think we need to diversify because I think we're moving into a new commercial world. It's going to influence real estate. It's going to influence how we buy real estate, economically, transitionally, using technology on how we even find real estate, right? And connect to it and purchase it. Like that's probably going to change in the future, and it's probably not that far away. So I've founded an AI company, Visera, and we're really starting to build technology out to diversify my businesses, because I think if we don't,
you'll be left behind.
Oh, you're going to get left behind for sure, 100%. I think businesses and industries, including real estate, if you don't adopt it and try and figure out how you can get ahead of it, your competitors will. That's what I think.
See, the thing with AI is, even myself, I am still struggling to grasp what the next 10 years and 20 years is going to look like, right? So AI's got so much more to it than I can see. So I think a lot of people can't see, and I think that's what separates a lot of the really good entrepreneurs in that space, that they can envision what the world's going to look like and all of the possibilities of AI, whereas I'm still stuck in the real estate world, and that's eventually going to be replaced. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. You have to figure out what the time horizon looks like, though. I think there's a huge opportunity. If no one knows, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right, because if you can figure that out, and you just need to plug into the matrix. It's just, the only content I ever watch is futuristic content about AGI and how it's going to apply to. That's important to me, right? So every vertical will change. And I know there's a lot of bullshit out there. Elon Musk talking about, 1 billion robots. So, look, that's great. No harm, no foul. Go for it. But that's not my thing. My thing is, how do I iterate technology in a way that can be absorbed into a company of people who are not technically orientated, and generate success from that, and also help them, right? Like there's this. I was just saying to Henry in the car on the way here, is that I just read this article about DocuSign where their sales dropped 23% in 2025. Why is that? It's because they didn't pivot, right? Now, their model for subscription is based on headcount. Technology last year influenced workforces where big companies were decreasing their workforce. And they were decreasing it for two reasons. Is technology had replaced a lot of the low-end jobs that have now moved into AI automation, like AI agents, booking appointments with customers and all that sort of stuff, data compilation and all that sort of stuff, right? Even financial data compilation as well, which we do using large language models. And that means that, and big employers can see it. Like you see Facebook lay off 5,000 people, this company lays off 3,000 people. They're getting prepared for the change. That's what's happening. Yeah. And that means if you had that subscription model and it was based on headcount and they let go of those people, let's say Facebook let go of 5,000 people or Google or one of the, Amazon, one of the really, really big players, and they have a subscription with that company, what happens? Your revenue goes down. So, I think it's about, you don't need to understand AI in general terms. I think you need to understand specifically with really, really laser specificity, how does AI apply to my business? And it should be small and it should be the entry point. Like the first thing is marketing or even just market research.
Yeah.
Like you marketing your potential customers and how can I communicate with them better? How can I define their avatar better and how can I improve their customer experience better? That's what we're doing right now. We don't need to, build robots walking around the office doing all this stupid shit. We just want to do simple things and apply it well and then build out from there. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what businesses should really do.
So relating that back to the current real estate environment, what do you see that everyone is misunderstanding or not seeing in the space?
Yeah, well, the caveat is I'm not a real estate professional. Look, I am an investor in real estate, and I think it's a great investment. It's a tough question, right? I think there's multiple markers for customers, for agents, for buyers agents in the field of real estate. If we were to wind it back to that social media question, is that I noticed that there's a lot of real estate on social media right now. It's everywhere. And it's a lot of professionals who are driving the nice cars, going to the nice restaurants, and people wanting to get into the market, like saturating the market because they think there's an opportunity to make employment. If we were to even, just reiterate that part of it, they're missing that you have to work for 3 years to even get anywhere. You're going to be on a really low salary, and you've got to make 100 calls a day to find stock, right? Yep. So extrapolate that out into the market in general terms is that there's only X amount of property in this country, right? There's only X amount of people that can market to that property because there's probably a percentage of those homeowners who are not selling at any given time.
Yep.
So if they were to be smart, they could extrapolate data and figure out what the conversion rates and averages were, right? Like I could look at a state, I could determine how many houses are in that state. I could look at previous purchasing data over the last 10 years, and I could tell you exactly how many houses would be available.
Yep.
Based on trend and previous data, right?
Yep.
So for people looking to get into real estate or people who are like you're a professional in real estate, AI is such a leverage tool of data.
Yeah.
Because data is just math, right?
Yep.
Now, good data in, good data out, don't get me wrong if the data's not right, but if you went to RP data, I think their data would be pretty clean. So, if you could get your hands on that data and build a large language model around it, I could tell you exactly how many houses this year, next year, and 3 years in the future would be available based on trend.
Yep.
That is super powerful.
Yep.
That is super powerful. I would be very surprised if no one's doing that now, if governments are not doing that for future planning, for governance. But that's probably where I would be playing the game right now, is starting with what's important as data instead of randomly running through the forest like Bambi with a red dot on her forehead.
Yeah, 100%. But if the government actually had a look at data, you couldn't tell me that they didn't know that the first homeowner scheme was going to increase prices in the sub $1 million category and set it on fire.
Yeah.
The government doesn't always get it right.
Well, that's bad leadership.
That
was bad leadership. The government are full of bad leaders. They just don't know. Look, and I know the intention was pretty good, and I get it. They want.
Can I ask you, do you believe that they truly don't know, or do you believe that quite possibly it's set up to go up, the property market in Australia?
Oh, I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. There's always an ulterior motive.
This is what I want to hear. This is what I want to hear from you.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, that's what governments do, right? They're in control, and even though they deny it, and they say we did it for best intentions. Well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know exactly where the market was going to go.
Yeah.
So it's completely intentional, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So going back to the data, and you were talking about RP data, and you'd have a look at all the data in the local area if you were going to get in the space as a real estate agent. I know someone who's done that, and he's gone into a market in a high turnover area.
Yep.
Right? And he's absolutely killing it. Because there's a high turnover in that area.
Yep.
He's taken his market share, refined what he does. He's a great operator, don't get me wrong, but he's used that and he's quite successful. But if you went to an area where there's no turnover, minimal turnover, like Double Bay in Sydney or, Hamilton, Eagle Farm or Bulimba or whatever, the local agents really have that stronghold on that area, and it's harder for you to get in. So analysing the data is super important.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I had anything to say about that. There's a couple of things, right? When I coach young entrepreneurs, right, like guys in their 20s or girls in their 20s, I always say don't sell to poor people. Now that may sound pretty harsh.
No, it's true.
But what it means is you have to choose your market and go. I like niche and I like going deep on it. So I like doing less, right? Yep. I think my narrative for this year is less is more.
Yep.
Aligning everyone to 3 core focuses, that 3-thing philosophy that I'm pretty big on. Is that, pick your niche market. Like it could be all I'm going to do is 2-level 8-packs. That's it. Like I may do a 4-pack, I may do a 6-pack, but that's my market.
Yeah.
And what happens when you do that, your efficiency and your conversion rate goes up. Why? Because you're not distracted. Because there's so many different markets in real estate, man. There's just you got low socio-demographic, 3-family home, low level. You've got 2-level townhouses. You've got all these things happening. It's commercial real estate, apartments. So everyone's a bit of a generalist. Now, by the way, this is weird. I did my real estate license many years ago with a guy with Grant's Real Estate.
Yeah.
I think it was in Ferny Grove. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He's an amazing man, Robert Grant. Because I just wanted my license.
Yeah.
Because I thought I could use that license to build my own property portfolio then, which I started and bought a couple of properties. But, I made some bad decisions in my life and had to liquidate. But
we've all done that.
But that would be my thing. I'd go really vertical. I'd go really niche, and I'd go really deep. For property, man. And I would sell a product that was had a huge margin on it, that I know had buyers.
Yeah.
That had lots of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
what
what
scarcity.
Yeah. Look, it's cool to make 100,000 on a home in a couple of years. That's awesome. I think that's great, and I think people should run at that. But that's the majority of people. But what if you were to make $1 million in 3?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. I think people should consider.
Yeah. This is something I noticed that you dropped that $1 million when we were talking about my business turnover, per month, and I gave you those figures, and you're like, why not $1 million? And you're thinking big, and that's what good entrepreneurs do,
Yeah. Well, look, why?
I've got to start thinking like that.
I want to make $250,000 a month. Yeah, well, that's great, but why is it not $1 million?
Yeah.
Because if it's 250, you'll probably hit 175.
Yeah.
So you've got to think. There's always room for error.
Yeah.
You just, and when I ask someone, how did you come to that number?
Yeah.
They really just pulled it out of thin air. If you extrapolate your data, it should be, so my goal this quarter is $253,018 based on X. Next quarter, it's $312 based on X amount of growth in that quarter.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
That should be the.
But you don't, even when I started out, I was like, I want to buy, 3-4 properties this year. That was what I was doing. I didn't think, okay, let me just go straight to 10. Let me get 10 properties. That's what I want. No, I just thought of, what could I do easily or comfortably? You've got to think outside your comfort zone.
You have to, 100%. Otherwise, you never get there.
Yeah.
You just, being comfortable is not a good place to be.
Yep.
What's
that? Growth occurs outside the comfort zone? Is that the saying?
Well, when you're uncomfortable, you're learning. Because learning makes you uncomfortable because you're learning something that you're not aware of, right?
Yeah.
So it's something new for the frontal cortex, right? It's like, well, my brain doesn't know what this is, so it's freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's where success lies, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Being uncomfortable. I've been uncomfortable a lot.
Yeah.
Like talking to you, I'm kind of uncomfortable. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. But being uncomfortable is great, right?
Yeah.
It's like Because it's only temporary.
Yeah. Yeah.
You become comfortable with uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign.
Yeah. That's me in the ice bath this morning. I haven't done one in a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely
I
uncomfortable.
fucking hate ice baths.
You hate it? It's so good for you.
I do them
So
too. I do them too. I do a hot and a cold. I do 2 minutes,
Yes,
2 minutes in
that's what I
each.
do.
In West End, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, but I hate them.
You hate it.
Yeah.
It's only the first minute or two and then it's all right.
Yeah.
A lot of founders are super busy. So what do you think causes the connect between effort or the disconnect between effort and results? Because I see a lot of it with myself.
Chocolate-coloured unicorns breathing fire. Yeah, this is a thing for me, man. I'm super big on this. It's like I think people think they're busy, but they're busy on the wrong things, right?
Yes. I'm guilty here.
And founders are the worst, man. Like, as business owners, right, as founders, man, we're just doing 100 things at once and our brain's moving 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, but I'm not always doing the dollar productive thing or the...
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. And in most cases, you're not doing any productive things. It's like you get to the end of the day and it's like, oh, shit, man, I had such a busy day, but what did I actually achieve? Well, fuck all. So you got to be very, very careful about that. I think it's you've got your DMs coming through social media. You got social media itself popping up on your phone. You got fucking Slack popping you off. You got, Teams meetings and email, and it's all distraction. So for my company and my management crew this year is my key job, outside of supporting them to be successful in their roles, is to distract them, is what I call it, is get them to do less this year. I have this marketing manager, Grace. She's awesome. Shout out to Grace, like super intelligent woman. And she's a bit of a weapon, right? Like she just wants to tackle everything. But my thing with her is that if I can get her to do less and only tackle 3 things instead of 15, she'll enjoy things more, get more results. She'll be less stressed. She'll be running less and spending more time thinking. Like people should spend time thinking. Remember that?
Yeah.
Thinking. Just sitting there.
We don't. Everything's a distraction.
Everything is a distraction. Like just what are the 3 things you need to do in a week, you need to achieve in a week to move you towards your business goal or your personal goal or your financial goal? And ensuring that you only focus on that. Sure, there's all this shit that comes up. I've got to do this and take the kids to soccer or whatever it may be. Or my kids to the rifle range, whatever it may be, if you've got those sorts of kids. But you really have to distract everything and just go simple on things, man. Like everyone is trying to do too much. Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
Like everyone's got an opinion about everything that doesn't affect them and they don't have the information about it, but they have this voice, right? And they're putting shit on social media. It's just all, and then people listen to it. It's just all distraction. And then they have an opinion.
The comment section.
Yeah, I think I've commented on 3 or 4 things in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Man, on social media.
Yeah.
I'd do a thumbs up or or that sort of thing, but man, I'm not commenting on anything. Yeah. I don't have time for that, right? Yeah. So, every morning I write down 3 things. What are my 3 things I need to do today that move me towards my goals? And I just get laser focused on that. I keep my email shut. I keep my door shut. And that first 1 to 2 hours of every day is my time. And that's more about strategy. It's not about doing tasks. So that's what I do every day. So that's 10 hours on focused strategy and thinking. And
I love that because I'm in the morning and I'm headless chicken. I'm like, everything, what's going on? Who's signing up? What's going on here? Where's this up to? It's all just straight in. But the settling down, stopping, looking with
especially
a wide lens.
Especially at the start of the day, right?
Yeah.
Because then it sets the mood and the character for the day.
Yeah.
If you enter the day calmly and focused, your whole day ends up being more productive, I find.
Yeah. I've definitely got to be more productive. So you talk a lot about data-driven strategy. Can you share a time where the numbers forced a difficult but ultimately profitable outcome?
Oh, how much time do you have, man? Like,
Let's
seriously,
go.
it happens.
Give someone that pops in your head first.
Well, I just did it on the way here.
Yeah?
So let me tell you about that. It's just fresh in my mind. I had to make a very hard phone call to a business partner that we have a contract with. So to cut a long story short, we have partnerships with other companies. This particular company, who are a great bunch of people, we're a done-for-you sales company. So we have, we get like 700 leads a week, or what we used to. We're sort of decreasing that at the moment as a strategy. And we thought we'd give all our old leads to these guys so they can call these leads. We're not doing anything with them. They're just sitting there, right? So no harm, no foul. It doesn't cost us any money. They run all their own costs. And we think, hey, that's a really good idea. But over the Christmas break, I ran all the data because we think it's a good idea, but when you extrapolate the data down into how many calls they make, their sales conversion, and what they're doing with our customer, we realized that we weren't making any money, that there was a high risk for our customers that had subscribed through our brand, that they were calling not in alignment with our company policies. I got all of their data for 12 months because it's a 12-month contract and we had to renew it. And when I looked at the data and built a model around it, I extrapolated out a success ratio for them based on where their sales started in January and ended in December. So it gave me a percentage of improvement, right? I applied that percentage of improvement to 2026. Looked at the risk factor. So I have a risk matrices from 1 to 5. And I think about risks now more than I ever have. And there were several items that were risky for us. And then if I extrapolate out where I think they will land on the year based on 1 year's worth of data, the financial success of that partnership was not worth the risk. And that was completely data-driven. That was not emotional.
But you didn't see that before. So,
No.
So that's all data and analysing it, and that brought you to that decision. But you, without that, wouldn't have seen it.
Without that, I wouldn't have made that call today. So on the way here, actually, I called him and we had a really, really great conversation and I terminated the contract on the phone.
Yeah.
And I was just honest with him, and I was just honest and transparent. Says, hey, I've looked at the data, I've modeled this to try and find a way through for you to be successful because they need to make money. And I said I couldn't find that. So it would be, my decision as the CEO to terminate that contract. He was cool with it, by the way. He kind of agreed with it in a roundabout sort of way. He was struggling to try and make that contract successful.
Yeah.
But if I didn't look at the data, we would not have had that conversation. We would have gone on another year, applied that risk to another 12 months, and probably lost money on that deal.
Yeah.
And the only reason we won't do that is because of the data told us not to. Now, we can do that now because I can run a data model on that client using artificial intelligence, which takes me 5 minutes to build.
Yeah.
Load all the data in, prompt it, and get it to build scenarios for me that are founded in math.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's just people making decisions on really important decisions for the company, for the business, for your customer that don't make any sense. So we're all in on that this year. And that's how we just make decisions. So I just launched this year. This is interesting. Yeah. Well, it is to me. It may not be to anybody else. But I launched a feasibility assessment. So every time we make a decision in the business, you have to conduct a feasibility assessment. It's who are the stakeholders? What are you trying to achieve? Why are you trying to do this? How long does it take? What does it cost? What's the result? Over a time horizon, what are the risks? Yeah. Who's involved? Who's going to manage it ongoing? And who does it affect, right? So they have to do that on every single sort of master decision we make in a company that may affect a customer or a company policy. Otherwise, everyone's running around chasing unicorns, birthing unicorns in the office. We have all these little unicorns running around the floor and I have to stand on them.
Yeah.
And those distractions just stop you from growing. Again, less is more, right? Like you're better off doing 2 things than 20.
Yeah.
Just do the right 2 things. Just pick the right 2 things.
Doing them well.
Yeah, and doing them really, really well. Like again, I'd rather spend a month on something really simple that has high impact.
Yes.
Than spend a day on it or a week.
Yeah.
And people go, oh yeah, but that's just a waste of resources. I says, no, you're missing the point. We've determined that this has the biggest result for the company, for the customer, right? Financially, economically, and from a scalability perspective. So everything else is noise.
Yep.
Just do those 2 fucking things, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very hard. People don't want to do that.
No.
They because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because we live in a world of distraction.
We do. But going back to you making that decision and not going another year, right, and possibly losing money. The way I see this, and this is just like property investment, you don't want to get stuck with a dud property that's not performing. There is also an opportunity cost to that because you will allocate time for the next year.
100%.
Right, that you could allocate to something else that's more profitable.
100%.
And
or even just by not doing things.
Yes.
Right. Like that's another way to look at it.
Yeah.
We will not manage that contract this year. That means my sales manager has more time to manage what's more important.
Yep. Through OEA and EFLER, you've worked with thousands of students. Tell me, what patterns do you consistently see with those who scale successfully versus those who don't?
I think there's one big audacious thing that hangs over really, really successful companies that leads the charge, and I think it's just strategy. And that's a difference between a business who randomly moves forward and one who does it within a framework. Because when you write a strategy, it forces you to look at everything. If you don't have one, you just don't look at it. Like you think you're being successful, but you're not. Or you are being successful, but at a low ratio, not at one that you potentially could be at, right? And a strategy is a document that is the lifeblood of the company, and you should do it annually and you should review it quarterly. If you're a public company, you have a board, you can't even do anything without a strategy because they hold you accountable to the strategy. Now, if that's the case for public companies who are IPO'd and private companies who haven't, who don't do that, well, what's the integral difference there? It's that, well, why don't you operate like a public company as a private company and have a strategy? And that strategy, you write the annual strategy. Like I remember the days. This is what I was taught. I remember being at university, doing some business stuff, right? And they spoke about a 3 to 5 year plan. Well, you can't do that now. There is no 3 to 5 year plan. Why? Because the market will change in 6 months, right? Technology is showing us that, right? So the strategy now is 12 months. You know, this is what I was watching in the All In podcast. I think it was the CEO of KPMG, right, talking about they'll grow their team by 25%. So they'll move AI technology into low performing jobs and move those consultants into more senior performing jobs. And he said we couldn't do that without strategy. So what is strategy? Strategy is an annual plan for the business that keeps you on track. The good thing about that is that to build a strategy, my strategy document is about 40 pages. Yep. I put 3 months into that strategy document because it forced me to turn over every rock and look at every element of the business annually. That's how you grow the business. People think, oh, you grow the business from sales. Yeah, you do, but you only have successful sales through strategy. Gone are the days of the fancy, agent with charisma on the telephone. That's done.
Yeah.
Those guys are out of a job, man. I know they don't want to hear it. It's about consultancy, data, and providing information to people who can make an informed decision with confidence, right? That's where the market is right now. So, and without strategy, you kind of don't see that. You just keep doing what you do, right? Someone goes, oh, let's do 10% better than we did last year. Yeah, but why is it 10%?
Yeah.
And how do you do that? They go, oh, if we just put on 2 more sales agents, we put on a person here. So, and that's a very old school way of looking at business. But I tell you, the majority of businesses still think like that.
Yeah.
They just do. They don't go specifically, what are we doing this month in revenue? And how are we going to do that? And what's it going to cost on the P&L? What's our OpEx to make? So if you want to look at costs, I always go, what does it cost? What does it cost us for every hour in the company to generate revenue? Like how many hours do we need to generate X amount of revenue? And I just go back to data. But strategy comes first, and that'll force you to look at the data. So yeah, my big thing is strategy, man.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have it, go and get it. If you don't know how to do it, employ someone to do it for you. It's worth the investment. Like you would sell 12-year Lamborghinis to get a consultant who could provide you with a great strategy. Right?
Settle down.
Like I would do that because I think without it, it's just super difficult to win in a changing market.
Yeah. And the market is changing.
100% all the time. Like we will go to bed tonight, and in the market, we'll wake up in the morning and something will have changed.
Yeah.
It's that exponential right now.
Yeah.
It's freaking.
Well, it's changing more now than it ever has.
Oh, ever has. And this thing about, I know Ray Kurzweil talks about the singularity. Are we there now? We could be. I don't really know. But that means there's, where technology surpasses human beings. But we know that AI technology in terms of, say, some medical procedures are better than any surgeon on the planet. So we're probably getting there. Like the most successful chess player on the planet can be overturned with an AI.
Yeah.
So we must be almost at the singularity, I think.
Yeah.
I
think we're probably already there, but I don't think the AI. I think the AI. Okay, tell me, what do you think about the AI that we're using? How basic is it in comparison to the AI that's not released yet? Because I believe they're sitting on some amazing things in the background that we're not using day to day as just regular people that subscribe to ChatGPT.
Yeah. And look, I think ChatGPT still holds the number one place, right? Gemini's second, I think.
Yeah, I've got Gemini. Yeah.
But I think Gemini's had a huge surge last year and came into second place. I don't know where Grok or Perplexity sits on that, or Claude, but I know they're all in the top 10. I know that for sure. So there's a whole bunch of different types of models, right? Where is it going to go? Well, look, it's just going to become more sophisticated. Like if I was having this conversation a couple of weeks ago, is that if you look at your iPhone, right, or your Android, you have an app store. That won't be there soon. It'll be gone. Why? Because you won't need it. Because it'll be a personalized AI that understands who you are, what you like, when you like it, and it'll do everything for you. You won't need to download an app and pay for it through the App Store.
Yeah.
By the way, I think, I'm going to put it out there. I think Tim Cook is really behind the 8 ball right now when it comes to AI. And they may be in trouble. But, look, don't take my word for it, but they're moving so slow in the market because I don't think they have the talent. I think they have good talent, but I don't think they have all the talent.
Yeah.
But where is AI going? That's a big fucking question. Yeah. So
I want you to tell me more about this. For people at home right now who are intrigued by what you said.
Yeah.
So on my phone, you buy the new iPhone, it might be iPhone 20 coming out by that time that it'll have this AI in there where it replaces the App Store, and you're saying this AI is going to. So we're just going to speak to the AI.
You're just
going to get rid of a bunch of apps.
Yep.
And it's going to know everything about us and what we want. And so it's essentially like having an AI companion friend that's on our phone.
Yep.
It's kind of like just there to chat with us anytime. It's
your personal assistant, right? That's
Crazy.
just smarter than any personal assistant on the planet. Yep. And I saw this video on, this is real too. I can't remember the platform that it was, but it was a guy fixing a bike, mechanical. He was a mechanical type of person.
Yeah.
He needed a particular screw. He says, let's just say it was Siri, right? It's definitely not Siri, but he goes, Siri, this is the screw I'm after. This is the size of it. Can you find me a local hardware store that stocks it?
Yeah.
So he continues to work. And then he goes, I found a store that stocks it. You can collect it, but they can also have it delivered to you. And the price is X. He goes, great. Could you buy that for me, have it delivered to? Can you tell me when it will be here? So the AI orders it, processes the payment, provides them with the delivery details, and the AI just says to the customer, it will be delivered between 1 and 2 o'clock tomorrow.
So they just spoke to the AI?
They just spoke to the AI. And they didn't have to do anything. Like, you pick out your phone and you search for something.
Yeah.
That'll go away. And in fact, I walked into the office this morning and we have this tech guy. He's actually a partner in the AI company. He's got a very big head. It's got a big brain in it. And he was using Google as a search function. I went, wow, what's Google?
Yeah.
And the parody was that I don't even know whether Google will be the primary search engine in the very near future. You won't need to open up a browser. You'll just need to talk to your device.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going. But that said, there's a lot of steps in between that. And again, companies should just, chill out a little bit and just focus on what works for them. But I think the whole world is going to change.
Yeah, it is.
And it's going to change rapidly. Like I mentioned Peter Diamandis to you just before, in an interview I was with Elon himself, they were talking about health, and AI, I think, in the health field will have probably the biggest impact, right? In construction, probably not so much. Like an AI can't run a plumbing pipe from a sink to a sump, right? It can't do that yet. It will be able to. It can definitely build a house. We know that. But in the medical field and even in longevity, like they're saying that within the next 5 years, the AI will be able to strip back the human DNA sequence and strand, look at all the biomarkers, be able to re-engineer it and be able to come up with a drug or something that will make you live another 40 years.
Wow.
And that obviously that'll be available to very wealthy people at the start, but at scale it becomes cheaper. But that's scary, man.
That is.
And these are two of the brightest people on the planet. Like this is not, this is real, man. This is actually happening. So, but I tend to think, and my advice is to people, especially business owners, just stay away from it because it doesn't affect you. It's interesting, sure, it's really cool to think about, sure, but it's a distraction. Your business should be at entry-level large language models, building automations to take away all the boring tasks so your business can scale.
Yeah. That's speaking directly to me.
Well, but that's what I'm focused on right now.
Yeah.
That's my thing this year.
Yeah.
Is how do I allow my management team to thrive by taking away all those low administrative tasks that humans actually don't need to do anymore. They just don't. Like in a year, you won't need to check your inbox.
Yeah.
You won't have email. Because you don't need to look at it. The AI will look at it for you.
I'm missing emails as it is. So emails just pile up and pile up.
Yeah, it'll make you more efficient. It'll book your appointments for you.
Yeah.
Like look at now when I join a virtual meeting, say through Teams or Zoom, there's like 20 AI bots recording it.
Yeah.
And and it sends me a breakdown of it, all the action items. Like, man, that just snuck up on us.
Yeah.
Like normally I'd have someone on there taking notes, or I'd be writing notes down, and then I'd have to write an email and send it to everyone. It's hands off now, right? So, and that technology will be applied to all the software you use right now first.
Yeah.
And then it will replace all the software you use right now.
It's amazing.
Gone. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It is. For a lot of the young kids out there looking to start a business that have the entrepreneurial flair, and that ties into them, a lot of them will invest their money, right? So they're going to make money, they're going to invest, and real estate's going to be one of those vehicles that they choose to invest in. What sort of advice do you have for a lot of them out there that might be watching this?
Yeah, look, I think real estate's a solid investment for young people. The challenge is the barrier to entry for them, right? It's like, if I hear another kid tell me, when I ask them, what do you do for a living? He goes, I'm a trader. And I always say, oh, you're unemployed. Like, it's a gag, right? It's like, like trading's cool and I get it. Yeah. But you know where trading comes from? It comes from social media.
Yeah.
Because they have access to all these cool companies, right? Like Anduril, Tesla, SpaceX, if they IPO. I don't think he's going to IPO, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, and they go, oh, they're a public company on they get an account, which is pretty easy. You just download an app, you load some money into it, and now you're an investor. Woo. Great. You're an investor that's making no money.
Yeah.
Because investment requires a percentage ratio of monetary value to get leverage. Putting $10 into a public company will not make you money. The fees will burn up in 30 days, right?
Yeah.
So property is awesome. And I talk to kids about property. I say, what you need to do is figure out the barrier to entry. Like they could come to you and you could structure that out for them because I think they need framework, man. Yeah. I don't think – they just don't know. They think they know, but they don't really know. Look, baby boomers know. Like they bought property, right? And that's where their success came from was real estate.
Yeah.
Historically – well, let me do this. When I think about real estate and where it started, and if you look at the history of real estate, which is super interesting, I always just think of these two big fat bankers in Texas or somewhere, right? And
cigar.
Yeah, smoking a cigar, drinking a single malt whiskey and going, okay, what product can we create that we can sell to as many people as possible and lock them in for their whole life? And they went, real estate.
Yeah.
Mortgages.
Yeah.
Interest rates. And what we'll do is we'll call it the American dream.
Yeah.
Right? Or in this case, the Australian dream is to own your own home. Like, so, there's that whole De Beers thing that's kind of wrapped around that, right? So that's declined though now because with social media, young people are trying fast ways in the market. So the money they have, they push it into something that's got a low barrier to entry.
Yep.
Property for them has a high barrier to entry. Why? Because you have to have a deposit.
Yep.
Right.
Or if you're in Sydney, a large deposit.
In Sydney, a larger deposit, yeah. Now, I know you can circumvent that with private equity, private capital, but that's cool. But young people don't have access to that. Rich people have access to that, but not young kids. So, they need – so you could probably teach them something now. I won't go into that now. But so, again, strategy. Why could you not have a property portfolio strategy? Like that's what you do, and that's probably what they need. Yep. And then it lays it out. And again, people overestimate what they can achieve in a year, right? Yep. So it's about being real about it. So like I know young kids who save for real estate. They're really I did that, right? I was putting away X amount of money living on 2-minute noodles and baked beans because I just wanted to buy a property. Yeah. But I bought property in my early 20s. Yeah. So it's doable, but it's harder now.
It is, but strategy is very, very important. So we've got mapping tools that now they're building an AI for those mapping tools. It's going to be so precise, just like you use the chess reference for AI. You can map it all out to be super quick and efficient, and you can scale your portfolio very quickly. You just need, and you mentioned earlier the barrier to entry, right? Once you get your first deposit, it's easy to scale from there because a lot of these investors with their 5 or 10 or 20 properties, they're not doing it because they save an extra $200,000 deposit every year out of their wages or their business, right? Some of them some people are blessed to have that sort of an income. But in general, it comes from equity when the prices go up. If you buy in a good area, you extract the equity, you buy again, you extract the equity, you buy again. That's how portfolios are scaled.
Getting into the market the first one is the challenge, right? So it's about good economics, good economic management, and strategy, right? I was, even in business, right? People in business, when they generate wealth, they diversify. I think Warren Buffett's famous for saying diversification's for idiots. Well, but he's not really saying don't diversify. He's saying diversify in your space, right? Where it's solid. What he was referring to as distraction. So property is not a diversification distraction. Because it's a solid asset that appreciates in value. And we know that. Like, look at 200 years worth of data, right? We just know that. It's a solid investment. And the returns are super high. So, like as a company, the strategy this year was to buy an office, right? Buy commercial real estate, own that, get the tax benefits from that, write that off, plus have an asset to lean into for the company, right? We would have bought a very nice office space with car parks and all that sort of stuff.
Well, you kind of got forced with that based on the I seen your Instagram footage of the wet floor. What happened? Sorry,
I call it the Great Floods of Level 10.
What happened?
Well, we came back to the start of the year, and before we came back on a Monday, what happened is the sprinkler system failed, popped a leak, and filled the whole office up with water.
No.
Oh, it was,
We'll run some rolls so everyone can see what we're talking about, but it was full on.
It was full on. So everyone had to go home. It was cool though. It was really interesting to see how great the team are and the center management who managed it. Everything was really quite seamless, and we had a very efficient, productive week, So again, when you build a business, make sure that it has systems in place to just run.
Yeah. Commercial tax deductions.
Yeah. So real estate was our thing look, we didn't do it just because we didn't have the time. Again, that became a distraction when we ran it through a feasibility. Now, that wasn't to say it wasn't a bad idea, but we would have ran out of time. Our lease was up in November. We sort of didn't have time to really find an office that was suitable. Car parking is a big one for us, and we have a lot of it where we are. So, but that doesn't mean that's not going to be the strategy in the next 2 years. And I think it probably will be. Why? Because it's a solid asset, right? It's an asset that banks love, private equity loves. And if we own it, we get all the tax benefits. And it's the same with residential property, right? It's, as long as it's structured well. But, people can speak to you about that. That's what you do. But, so my thing for young entrepreneurs when they come and talk to me about business, and I get a few, Lawrence, what should I do and how should I grow my business? I said, well, there's a lot of commercial things I need to go through, but I said, some of them are actually making pretty good money. Like, some of them are ending up with 20, 30K a month, which is great, man. Like, I just love that. It's one of my happy places to see young people make that sort of money, man. I think that's super awesome because I never did it in my 20s. It wasn't until my 30s I figured it out. So they're much smarter than I am. We didn't have phones back then, so.
No, we were rubbing two sticks together.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Yeah. We were sitting down on the corner store kicking rocks and cans down the street, right? But that said, I say to them, you need to put that money in something that's high yielding instead of having it sit in a bank. Like, I'm stupid. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars just in bank accounts, right? Like, we should get better at that. It's not a high priority for us, but we definitely need to get better at that. Just hired a great lady who's a business finance manager who just looks after all the P&L and balance sheet. She's cleaning everything up for me. But so I will be investing in commercial real estate in 2 years, but in residential real estate this year under an ACN. To diversify, right? Diversify. So, I do have other investments in shares. I don't do bonds, ETFs and all that sort of stuff. I kind of just stick with what I know is solid. But I'm pretty old school. Like, the young kids probably know more about some of these markets than I do, or they don't. But so I just like real estate because it's pretty solid. So this year will be 3 new properties. Potentially 4. just because it's a time thing, right? Like just processing those. So I'll come to you and
Yep.
and I'll just say, hey, dude, I'll pay your fee.
Yep.
Here's my deal. Here's what I want to invest in, and this is the return I'm looking for,
Yep.
right? Because I know markets ebb and flow, and I don't know whether this will be an exit strategy. At 140 years of age, maybe it is, and I can sell in 5 before the market maybe levels out a bit. But I'll talk to you about that. But I'll go solid on real estate for sure, because I think the market is just booming, man, in this country.
It is.
And I think young kids need to find a way to get into it. So they need to generate money.
Yep.
So work during the day, work in the evenings.
Yes.
You might have to give up your social life, kids.
Yes.
And then build wealth and then invest that wealth.
100%.
And you don't need a lot, right, to get started. But you do need enough, or do it as a conglomerate, as a group of friends, right? Like I just say to people, well, why don't you get 3 of you that are really close, that you trust, put an agreement in place, come up with the money, pay the consultant, get the property.
And execute on a good property. That's the key.
Execute on a good property where you don't have to spend a lot to renovate it, to re-rent it, to maybe lift that rental yield by 20% or what it may be, right?
Yep.
Like it's simple, man.
Yep.
It's not complicated, but it's complicated if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Well, I've bought and sold a few properties over the years, so I kind of get it. But if you haven't done that yet, it's super difficult, right?
Yeah, and there's no entitlement. It was the same for us. And on your podcast, I shared how I work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And you had to, because I didn't have mum or dad. I didn't have, a trust fund set up for me. We didn't come from that. So you literally just had to, work hard, save as much money as you can, get that deposit. I used the first home earner scheme, and I got in. And once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, when you're in, you're in. Don't get out, right? Like don't put yourself in a situation where you sell it and you never get back in again.
Oh,
that's
the
a
worst.
big mistake.
That's the worst.
So you got to manage your money well, right? Budget well, right? AIs can help you with that as well. Like they're really good at it. But I'm like you, dude. I worked 3 jobs, man.
You had to.
I had a business. I had an executive day job, and I think I was working at the markets as well.
Yeah.
So I would start the gig at like 4:30 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I'd work till like 8. Then I'd go home, have a shower, get changed, and go into. I had a recording studio back then, or a band rehearsal studio. And at the front of that, I built a little office, and I'll be cold calling for my business during the morning, and also selling for a company that was paying me. And then I was doing gigs, so it was technically 4.
That's
jobs.
a lot. So the markets was like a food market or weekend.
It was the Brisbane markets, the fruit markets. Yeah.
I picture you as an executive. I didn't picture you at the fruit markets at 3 a.m.
Dude, I've done everything from digging holes to Yeah.
But doesn't that give you a well-rounded view of everything?
Yeah, 100%. Well, it gives you respect, and it gives you, it removes entitlement and increases appreciation.
Yeah. Okay. I want to touch on this though. Were you a good employee, or were you the type of individual who was always destined to go and work for yourself? Because, were they just jobs that were a temporary stepping stone because, you never seen yourself, kind of like me, I never seen myself. I didn't have a job for more than 3 months.
Really? Yeah.
No, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
It's not possible. I'm unemployable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never like that. I was
You're better than me.
No, not that at all. I just applied it differently because I didn't know that I was going to be an entrepreneur, man.
Yeah.
But what I realized when I worked for people, that they always promoted me really quickly. Why? Because I was the first one and the last one to leave. Man, always. I remember the first executive job I had was for one of the largest the largest recruitment company globally back then, and I was a recruitment consultant, right?
Yeah.
And it was a white-collar executive role, but I was good at stuff, right? Like I could analyze people. It was sort of come on, man. Consultancy work's always a sales gig, right? So it was a sales gig, but I was really good at it. I was also good at leading people because the first job I got when I moved to Australia was I was renovating or manufacturing caravans for a German fellow by the name of Hugh. Great guy. He taught me a lot, man. And in sort of 6 or 7 months, I sort of escalated myself above the people who've been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's because they probably think, who's this young kid who comes in an hour before everyone and who works an hour late every single day of the week? Who is that guy? So there's only one thing that I knew how to do and do well was work. Man, I was a hard worker, man.
Yeah.
I could outwork anyone.
Yeah.
Yep, anyone. I could, man, I could work 80, 90 hours a week and I would never flinch. And I could do that for years, man. And I kind of did it for years.
Yeah.
And I think people just don't have that resilience or maybe that commitment to their goals.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's priorities, right? Some people aren't going to prioritize that. Some people want to prioritize, look, I leave at 5 p.m. on the dot and that's it. I'm going to go watch Netflix or I'm going to go do whatever's, everyone's wired differently.
Yeah. It's funny though, if you think of it as a founder or a business owner, like you would be the same as me, I would think, is that if you employed somebody, especially a young person, and you just saw them work and try so hard, you would just forfeit them opportunities.
100%.
You just would.
100%.
And then you see that person who sort of turns up right on time and they've got their bag packed, right? And as soon as it clicks on, they're walking out the door.
Yeah.
You don't forfeit opportunities to those people.
Yeah.
So I was that guy. So I always worked hard for my employers, man, always. And I always left with a good reputation. Yeah. Like I'm pretty confident I could call those people, if they're still alive, they're probably not because remember how old I am. But they would give me a job or give me a good reference because I thought that was really important. My dad used to say to me, always protect your reputation. Yeah. Look after your character and protect your reputation because that's all we have, son. I said, okay, that's kind of good advice. Yeah. So I always sort of did that and I just wanted to be successful. And what I learned, I was really good at managing, organizing, operations, selling. I don't know, I was probably gifted with the gift of the gab, as they say, right? Yeah. And that charisma to be able to do that. So I could go close deals for people, and they liked that. So I was offered an opportunity to go and work in a couple of companies as a startup. So I did that. Was quite successful in that space, and I went, I could probably do this on my own. Because we all think we can do it better than everyone else. If I was to look back, I wish I hadn't done it on my own. I wish I had brought a couple of business partners along for that journey. Yes. Because it would have been just easier. It was super difficult. And people don't believe me, but man, I worked 100 hours a week. Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe that. Just like week after week after week, man. Like zero sleep, fucking eating bad food, unhealthy, still working out and stuff. I think without health, without fitness, I probably would have, had a heart attack. But I did that for years, dude. Like that's a dumb way to do it though. Yeah. That wasn't very intelligent. There is more efficient ways, but there's also the reason why you it's great to have business partners or having that extra help is because a lot of them, especially if you get ones that had different skill sets to you. Yeah, 100%. Right? Yeah. Well, I hung my hat on that. Oh man, I'm such a hard worker, man. That's who I am. Like that's bullshit. But you're missing a lot as well. You were missing a great deal, right? And doing it with a business partner or a couple of friends, it would just be so much more fucking fun. It would be. Right? And then you don't have to work 100 hours a week, so you're healthier. So again, like look at my narrative now, less is more. I wish I had learned that a long time ago in my late 20s. Because during my 30s, man, I just worked my ass off. Yeah. But it worked, right? And I guess then we didn't have the technology, the automation, the AI, the access that we do now, or the knowledge, or the access to knowledge. Like on your iPhone, you have, like someone said this on social media, this is not me saying this, but they said, on your handset, you have access to more information than the president had in 1979. Wow. It's like crazy, right? It's a different world. So it's a different world, and I didn't really have access to that. I really missed the fucking internet boom though, man. I was at the start of it. Like, I remember 1992. And I went in a different direction, so I kicked myself for that because I think I could have built a good internet company, but I'm not missing the AI boom. So I've got I think I can have a great AI company. So boom, property boom, crypto boom, There's always something going on. I say to my daughters, and you just got to get on, right? You just got to get into it. Yeah, I said to my daughter only yesterday. She's thinking about doing some sort of startup business stuff, which is cool, man. Go for it and fail. Expect to fail though. Lower your expectations, failure is the best. People don't realize at the time failure is amazing. Sorry to cut this. No, you're right. It's amazing. Yeah, you still learn so much. I saw Jensen while I'm getting interviewed, man. I watch a lot of these guys, these top performers, right? Yeah. And he was talking to I can't remember the university now. I think it was MIT, and he was saying to the graduating year. My advice to you as you go out into the world is to lower your expectations, right? And I thought, wow, that's super interesting for someone like him to say that because people think we should have high expectations. He was saying the problem with that is that you don't understand how many things are going to go wrong before you win. And if your expectations are too high, it'll shake you too much. You'll get stressed out and you'll quit. Yeah. So I kind of like that, right? And that's sort of a bit of a narrative for this year as well, is that we will make mistakes, things will go wrong. It's okay, no one's going to die, and let's just get on with it, man. So, but yeah, look, I was never the fancy entrepreneur when I was young. It took me a while to figure it out. So I was a bit of a slow burn. I'll be honest with you, but yeah, I definitely have business partners if I could do it all over again.
Definitely. Yeah. And once that add those different skill sets, I think that's absolutely important. Like my marketing, I don't have a marketing bone in my body.
Yeah.
if I had that different dynamic, it just helps so much.
There's this adage around entrepreneurs, right? Like I remember the word entrepreneur, by the way, right? Fuck me, like in early 2000s, like the word entrepreneur has peaked and troughed many times. Like when you said people would not have entrepreneur on their resume fucking 20 years ago, they wouldn't, because it was embarrassing, right? Oh, entrepreneur, oh, you're unemployed, or you got a part-time job, great. But now, it's just different. Yep. The word entrepreneur is used everywhere. It's on book covers. People say, what do you do? I'm a professional entrepreneur. And go, oh, I get it. Great. What does that mean, though?
Yeah.
Because you have to be selling something, right?
I think entrepreneurs back in the day were people that were already successful and had a $50 million business and were in the newspaper. That was what it was back then.
100%. I agree with that.
You could just title it yourself.
Yeah, you think like Bill Gates is an entrepreneur. Yeah. Not the dude on the Gold Coast working from his bedroom who's making fucking $300,000 a year.
It's changed.
It's changed.
Creatine was practically a steroid in the 90s. Now it's like super healthy for you, and everyone should take creatine in massive doses every day. Back then it was like only big bodybuilders at the gym took creatine.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm on the creatine as well.
Yeah.
And now it's all normal. Times have changed.
Some studies came out in the last week or so with creatine. This is just a bit of a side note. I'm pivoting a bit, but is that creatine isn't effective only unless it's soluble with water, because the elements within creatine don't affect muscle growth until it's wet, right? And this is very, very new research, and they conducted studies with real people in a real research environment and measured their muscle weight and mass and all that sort of stuff. And I was only, watching. I have some reputable sources for that sort of thing. So I don't know whether it's true or not. I'd have to read the research paper, but yeah. This is how things change, right? Like you think something is this way, and then you realize that it's not. Like, after 1,000 people have died, we've put that in the water and that's dangerous. It's like, right. It's like, oh, shit, okay.
It's funny how it works. It's funny how it works. So for everyone at home thinking about AI, but not knowing, obviously you're very researched in AI, and I can see by you and how you speak, you use AI nonstop throughout the day.
Yeah.
For everyone at home now that's got a job thinking, geez, when am I going to be replaced in my current work? When do you see AI replacing the majority of jobs? Like how far are we away from that year, that date?
What month are we in now?
Oh, geez, is it like that?
Well, it depends, right? I think there's certain industries that will be affected more so than others, right? If you work in a labouring blue-collar role, you're okay. If you work on an oil rig, you're okay. If you work on a construction site, you're okay, right? So there's these types of jobs that are physical.
Yeah.
And I know that, all the robotics companies talk about robotics dropping in 5 years. Well, that's bullshit. Well, I personally think that's bullshit. Like, because what they're trying to do is warm the market up, right? Now, I know there'll be a pivotal moment where robotics will become exponential, where they compound, right? Where the technology compounds, where it takes them 3 years to get here, but to get here, it only takes them one. So I get that. But I think blue-collar jobs are pretty safe for now. So I think if you're looking to retool and move into an industry, but by the way, construction's paying super well. Like we have a construction company, Textile Academy. We'll certify 3,680 people this year. We've done over 13,000 people already. Yeah. So and those construction workers will go on to start a company, build a company, and have really great health economics. If it was about, if people were scared about losing their job, look, I just think they won't lose their job. I'm a bit of an optimist with it because we've seen the change of, the manufacturing sector, the agricultural sector, the steel manufacturing sector. Like what that did is that didn't decrease employment and it increased it because it created new industries, right, inside. Yeah. So micro pocket industries inside industries, right? So, and someone has to manage the AI. That will be there for some time yet. I know it's not regulated, but governments will eventually figure out how to regulate it with the big tech companies. They'll just have to. But that's a whole nother podcast. But my thing is, if you're in a job, a low-level job that you probably know an AI could automate, those jobs are at risk.
Yep.
Look, let's just face it. I'm probably not going to need to hire an appointment setter to book appointments for my sales team. Why? Because an AI will do that. I don't need to manage documentation coming into the business with a human because an AI will do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need to have a human write an email nurturing sequence for a lead that hits me up on Facebook. Why? Because an AI will do that.
Yeah.
And I don't need my customer service team constantly speaking to people or extending. Imagine this, someone said, we should extend our hours. I said, well, why would you do that? We'll just use a chatbot for that.
Yeah.
And we'll put the chatbot or the SMS bot in front of the customer and they can talk to it at 12:30 a.m. I don't really care.
Yeah. That's why I don't talk to the chatbots.
Yeah. Like
I don't.
Yeah. Well,
So I know it's an AI chatbot.
But if it's good, right?
Yeah.
If it's really good, like we are spending a lot of time on that technology because we think that will be applied in the future at higher scale. So I think there's always this, and Ray Kurzweil talks about this. There's always this point, right, where it extrapolates through to compounding exponential growth, right? And he, I know he uses the singularity as one of those moments, but say, when something launches, go, oh, that's really shit.
Yeah.
But then as it improves, people adopt it more and more and more.
Yeah.
It gets to a point like chatbots, right? People used to hate chatbots.
Yeah, I still do.
But maybe not you, but other people are going, oh, hey, I'd rather kind of speak to a chatbot, get the price, the process and all the information before I speak to a human and commit to it. So there's a market segmentation that you could go deep on, right?
Yeah.
Before it escalates to a human. So what are you doing? You're taking a marketing qualified lead to a sales qualified lead.
Yeah.
That means the agent doesn't have to call them 3 or 4 times and have 3 or 4 conversations.
Yeah.
It's done using technology, and the agent just has to call them to develop trust and confidence and then close a deal, right?
Yeah.
So in real estate, that could be something that's applied. In our education training businesses, that's applied. Because sometimes customers don't want to have a conversation with a human.
Yeah.
Sometimes now...
They just want the info.
Oh, dude, this is crazy. But if you surveyed some people, a lot of customers are now saying... I prefer to speak to an AI to get all the information I want before I make a decision.
Wow.
See the change in the market? It's crazy.
It's changing.
That's going to happen in your market. It's
Yeah.
going to happen in all markets.
Yeah.
No one has the time to do it. They can speak to the AI at their convenience in the way that they want, right?
Yeah.
So the AI will say, what's your preference of communication? Email, would you like me to call me or send you an SMS? You go, send me an SMS, but don't send me an SMS after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Bang. It's got all your details. It'll never breach that policy, that
Yeah.
human policy for you
Yeah.
as a customer service person.
Yeah.
Humans don't do that.
Yeah.
They just, you have to set it up in a CRM. You've got to read the CRM.
Yes.
So that's where efficiency standards
Yeah.
are going to change, and those people in those roles won't need to be there anymore.
Yeah.
I also think CRM management, AI construction, right?
Yeah.
Not like, home construction.
Yeah.
That's weird. But AI construction of CRMs, software.
Yeah.
Software developers, web developers will lose their jobs. They need to retool and do that now. So if you're a WordPress developer, you don't really need WordPress developers now because the AI will cut the code for you and do it better than you will, faster than you will, be more efficient, be able to update it and manage it without the human, right? So we kind of are doing that now. But we're saying to our web dev guy, learn AI and learn how we use AI to do your job.
Yeah.
At scale.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then they get paid more money. So there's this cool tranquil moment where you don't actually lose your job. It's an opportunity to increase your income, but you do need to retool. Now, those people who just goes, oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Those guys will lose their jobs. So they need to do a bit of a paradigm shift. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I do think people like Salesforce, for example, which is probably the biggest sales CRM company on the planet.
Yeah.
HubSpot's probably second.
Yeah.
Is that, we could build a CRM tailored specifically to our business.
Yeah.
Within a matter of days. So why would we need to pay Salesforce, $3,000 a month?
Yeah.
That is going to change. And I think like Benioff and those guys, Mark Benioff, who's the founder of Salesforce, they will be retooling right now.
They're doing it now?
Oh,
Because they need to be. Because you've obviously mentioned quite a few that you mentioned. Tim Cook's a little bit behind.
Yep.
Right? Google, what are they doing now?
I think
Because these
Man,
are all
I think Google are onto it. I think, Google just have the IP. They also have the talent, not all of it, but they have some good talent, but they have data. Like, I said to you before, like if cash is king, data is now emperor. And they have all the data in the world, man.
They do.
They have behavioral data from human beings on this planet, from millions and millions and millions of them, right? So they're kind of ahead of the game. I think they know that. So for them, during this revolution, this AI revolution, if I was to call it that, they're going slow because they're probably looking at where the market's going. So if the market's moving really fast, sit back and watch the market.
They might just be loaded and
really,
just
100%. That's what I think. I think, I think Larry and Sergey are on it, man. They just moved to they just moved to Dallas.
Yeah.
They left California.
Yeah.
Because of the this bullshit sort of billionaire tax that Gavin Newsom's trying to put on them.
Yeah.
They're all leaving in droves, man. So David Sachs has moved there. Larry and Sergey from Google are leaving California and moving to.
A lot of people have left California for Texas.
Like Florida, like a beautiful, like the climate's. The climate's good, just like it is in California. But that's interesting, man. Like I think Newsom's making some really bad calls right now.
Yeah.
Like he should be lowering taxes for billionaires so they create more businesses in those economies. Because when you look at it, if you tax the billionaires, the ratio of billionaires in California, for example, is probably not even $1 trillion, right? If you look at the middle class, the economy in that market is probably $8 trillion. So what he's doing is he's taxing the smallest minority of people, hoping to win that game. And by the way, California got into trouble because the state government promised pay rises to all public servants in an X amount of period of time.
Yeah.
And then they had to make good on that. Otherwise, they would have had a mass walkout of fireys and emergency services people. Now, the company went and started going into recession, so they thought, let's increase all the costs like power, water, parking.
Which affect the middle class.
But if those billionaires leave California and they take their companies with them who contribute to the local economy, and we're talking thousands of people. We're not talking a few people. We're talking, and it loses the integrity. It's like, all those guys in Silicon Valley make Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley. Like if they're not in Silicon Valley and they're in Texas, well, the stigma of startup, that whole startup where people invest lots of money and they go there, moves to another state.
It does.
And will it
have
even
another Palo Alto somewhere else, basically?
Maybe. Shit, maybe, dude. Like,
and I'd love to know what's the stat with how many of these billionaires instantly restructured the second the law was passed.
100%. Imagine the lawyers, man. Like
straight away,
they'll be all over it. I think laws,
and they know it in and out. They've got the best of the best.
Oh man, they'll be restructuring just like. So you can't outwit, like a governor cannot outwit the smartest people on the planet.
No.
It's just not going to work.
It's
and by the way, you're going to piss them off. And they carry a lot of weight. And I know that there was a, some, like you have to take it to the ballot.
Yeah.
Like be transparent and take it to the ballot. Don't go changing laws. And I think here we call it the lower house, right? Don't go doing that through the Senate. Just change it at the ballot and let people vote on it, right? And I think you'll probably find, well, mind you, it's a pretty left state, so maybe that would have been passed, but that's pissing people off. And the entrepreneurs of Silicon Valley are just not happy about it. Man, don't piss them off. You sort of want to keep them happy, right?
Yeah.
It's like pissing off your biggest clients. Saying, we're going to charge you more, and everyone else that we don't charge a lot, we're going to lower their. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's kind of counterintuitive.
Something tells me there's more to it.
Oh, look, there's always more to it, man. Like, I'm sure there is, but and that's my humble take on it. But I do stay in the know on that stuff and watch a lot and read a lot about that stuff because I find it super interesting how people navigate that. Yeah. And the strategies that these billionaires, what they talk about. Oh, well, it's not going to bother us because we're just going to do this. You can do that? Yeah, you can do that. It's like, okay,
it's great. The mindsets are so different. And even just today, learning so much from you in regards to some of the things you're doing and what's going on with AI.
Yeah.
The differences, what's that saying? You're the sum of your 5 friends.
Yep. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most.
Thank you. You know,
that's totally true, by the way.
It is what it is.
Totally
this
true.
is why they all hang out together.
Yep. Well, this is right. Yeah. So that's a good lesson for people, right? It's like if people were to use your service, I think about this. That's still hanging out with the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most strategy, right? Now, you may not be friends, you may be colleagues, or they may be your client. But what do they get from that relationship? Knowledge.
Yep.
Knowledge.
Yeah, but we're always talking to each other. So my client that I did the podcast on is $7.4 million portfolio. I bought 6 properties for him last year. He made $500,000 just on the purchases, right? What did we average? I think it was 80 grand under market value for each one or whatever it was. I forget what it was. No. Yeah, something like that.
That's awesome.
The point of the story is we're talking to all the time. So he'll call me and say, okay, I'm doing this. I'm thinking of this. If I sell that and, you know, I'll pay a little bit of tax, but you know what, I can go here and do this and, you know, buy another 2, 3. We're always talking strategy and we enjoy talking to each other because we are better together and we share the same interests and we're both succeeding more because that's a common interest.
Yeah.
I used to party a lot back in there. A lot of people don't know. Some people might know this. But
I can probably tell that
you could tell. I was a massive party boy. And I tell you what, you eventually start hanging around with people that like to drink.
Yeah.
They're going out 5 nights a week.
Yeah,
that becomes that.
Yeah,
and then the business me changed, started being more a party boy, didn't care for business, and I was over there. So who you hang out with is very important because it influences you very much.
Yeah, well, that's not good for business, right? It's not good for your wallet, man.
No. I know. I learned that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had to learn it too, right? And being an ex-muso, it's like, you know, it's like always party central.
And drummer's the worst out of all of them, right?
Yeah, you know,
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
Sort of backstage at that concert, I'll have another drink. You know, that's just not good for you.
No.
But look, it's not to say that you can't do that and be a successful entrepreneur. I just think it's about balance, right? And I've never really liked that word balance. It's like the word nice. I don't like that. But you know what someone says to me?
You struck me as someone that doesn't do moderation or balance. You're all in, I'm all in, and that's it.
No, I do now. I never used to. It's taken me a while to learn that. Look, and I never believe in the word burnout, but I think there is burnout, but, you know, I think people lean into that word too early. Like, when you
love what you do. Okay, so I went on a holiday last year, went to Bali.
Yeah.
On my 3rd day there,
I
wanted to come home because I was missing work.
Wow.
I want to come back to work.
That's cool, though.
I'm not working.
So
I didn't need the holiday.
That's great and sad all at the same time.
But I didn't need the holiday.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be at work.
It's because you do something you love, man. But that's rare, right? Like, I'm the same. Like, I kind of always live in happiness because, you know, I just have always done what I like. But to do that, there is a price, right? It's that you got to work fucking hard to get to that point because it's not for free. Yeah. So, you know, buck up, stop your fucking complaining and get it done. And then you get to a point like you are, I want to go back and just keep working. Yeah. Now that is happiness, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
You don't need a holiday from your life.
Yeah, that's right. And people are trying to get away from their life, right?
Yeah.
And I just think economics is probably the major factor. You know, like they're working on a job they don't like and they're doing it because they just think they need to. Of course, mindset and psychology has a big play in that, but you know, if you had healthy economics, all it does is give you choices.
Yeah, but do the job. Okay, so do the job you don't like for a little bit, but have that solid property portfolio plan, execute it. I see plenty of people that don't like the job. They want to be, they build a portfolio of 6 properties, 8 properties. They want to be buyer's agents after that, right? Because they want to leave their job. Yeah. So get your pay slip. Hey, pay your PAYG.
That's a vertical recruitment strategy for you.
It is
There you go. But yeah, look, it's cool, right? And property's wealth. When I think about property, I think about wealth.
Yeah.
I just think property builds wealth.
It does.
Like if you look historically at the wealthiest families in the world,
big on property.
It's property wealth. It's what they own as an asset, which is correct. It's not money in the bank, dude. Like, I died with $10 million. Well, that's stupid. Like that wealth through property can be passed on to other people in your family, and then that's where a legacy would come from, right?
Yeah.
So I think I love real estate, man. I want to do more of it, and I'm just in a position now where I just have good people around me, that can sort of run the business, and I still have a lot to do there. But this year, I'm working less on the business now than I was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
just through strategy. really defined systems and technology.
Yeah.
I'm doing 10x more in less time using technology.
Wow.
So now I'm going to spend some time.
Do you have an example? Give us a couple of examples.
Oh man, just data compilation is my biggest example right now, where I would sit there and go through the P&L myself. I'd print it out, take it home, and I'd be reading through all these fucking pages. And then I'd be, that thing called a calculator? The kids won't even know. In the old days, we had these little plastic things called calculators. Some of them were solar powered, by the way. Hey, Elon should go deep in on solar powered calculators. And I'd be working out all these things, writing it down on paper and trying to figure out what my strategy will be for business. Now, I don't need to do that. I just need to build a project or an algorithm or a large language model that I train, which takes a little bit of time, and then load my data in there and ask it and tell it, this is what I want to do and this is what I want. And it's pretty fucking accurate. That has saved me 10x time.
Wow.
Especially in the last year and a half, but even more so right now. Like I can come up with a strategy that's pretty clean and pretty pinpoint using artificial intelligence right now.
Really?
Yep, 100%. And I use it for everything. I use it for, I'm scanning food labels for calorie intake. I'm, even training and workout. How do you compile the best training session for your body and your BMI? Right? Fuck. Yeah. You couldn't do that before. I can ask it a question like, hey, how many people in Iceland? Oh, this many. Oh shit. Okay, great. And give me the history of Iceland. And this is why I'm in the car. Yeah. Right. And I would know the history of it in 5 minutes while I'm driving. Yeah. So it's intelligence and it's information. It gives you access to tailored information that you want right then and there. Now, is some of it incorrect? Yeah. So, but you just need to understand how to interact with it, and it can be pretty fucking accurate. If I use ChatGPT, I always get to check it 3 times. Yeah. And I use different prompts to do that, just to make sure that I get the right responses. And it will admit when it's made a mistake. Yeah. It's pretty woke though. It'll tell you that you're great and you're awesome. So I said it to it the other day that, give me some hard-hitting CTAs for a thumbnail, because I really wanted to nail this thumbnail. Yeah. I said I want it to be dark, I want it to be sarcastic, and I want people to complain about it. And don't and here's my examples, and don't tell me how good my examples are. Tell me how bad they are. And you get a good result, right? But you have to instruct it to do that.
It's all about how you use it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So what's your advice to entrepreneurs or successful business owners out there right now? Business is doing well, they're doing well, and they've got some disposable cash and they're looking to invest. What's your advice to a lot of them right now?
Yeah, probably 3 things, right? I think about this a bit. Investment of money, right? Cash money. I think about security. I think about risk. And I think about longevity. Always about a time horizon. Like, what's your ROI, your return on investment over what time horizon? And that helps you make a pretty good decision. My 3 go-to things at the moment are technology, because I know that'll increase my efficiencies, and that goes straight to the bottom line. The second thing I think about is leadership. If you're in a business and generating revenue, invest in your leaders, because retention's a problem right now, attraction's a problem right now. If you lose somebody, it's going to take you at least 2x to get that investment back. Recruiting someone, you having to train them, go through all that sort of thing. And the last thing I think about is asset, like investing commercial dollars into solid asset. And for me, real estate, home investment is what I'll invest into and diversify this year, just as a security measure. And in 2 years, we'll buy our own office and we'll start to take cash out of the business if there's spare cash, and put that in a place that it will appreciate, right? And not depreciate, or at least just, how it just sort of tips out at the same every year. You get 1 or 2%. So having your money work for you. So property is sort of a big thing for me. So, but I'll be hitting you up about that. So there's some strategies I want to roll out this year for real estate. So got to try and figure that one out. But hey, I'm not doing any work.
No. Right. That's my job. We'll talk strategy. We'll talk about the time horizon and of course using the data to select the right areas to produce that result, right?
Yep. And we're trying to get a beach house, so that'll be great.
Beach house. Talk about emotional investing.
Yeah. Well, this is.
I did it. But I just did it recently. I did the same thing. I just bought in Noosa. It's like. Yeah. And that was not strategically investment. That was because I wanted that.
Yeah, I'm the same, dude. This is more of a.
But I tell people to,
Yeah. Well, I think young people should man, you don't have the luxury of that yet, right? Because you haven't earned it.
Yeah.
And you probably don't have the economics for it. But old dudes like us, mate, he may have a bit of cash stuck aside. You know, I want to get a place close to the beach.
100%.
So spend, and this is about balance, right?
Yeah.
Like spend 2 or 3 days at the beach, and 2 or 3 days in the city, in the company. That's sort of my goal this year, actually, to do that.
That's what
I can't wait till that happens.
That's what we've been doing over summer. But I was going to say to you, going back to the old man thing, I always tell my wife, and I'm an old man, but I do old man things now. I don't know, this is off topic, but I like, if I'm doing something, I'll make a noise to go with it now.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. This is proper old man stuff.
What do you mean?
Like
yeah.
Like, there's just old man noises. It was never there 20 years ago. It's there now. Are you there yet or not?
Look, I probably do it. I'm just not aware of it, man. And, it's funny, right? When people work for you, they laugh at all your jokes. When they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no one probably tells me. So I don't know, but probably. I don't know. But, hey, it's cool though, right? I think I used to be scared of getting old. Now I'm just totally embracing it, man.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
What it is.
I'm going to put my feet up and spend some money and relax a little bit and just enjoy a bit of life, I think. And I have this word contribution that I'm super focused on, always have been. Like, how can we've got 2 things of contribution we want to do for the community this year. And that's give away $500,000 worth of courses to help people.
Yeah.
And then to help an individual that we have as part of our ethos and our team, that what can we do for her? She's got a really challenging few years ahead of her, which I won't go into. That's private, but, what can the company do to help her? So building wealth, the great thing is that, all the investment into charities comes from rich people.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes I package that up. Well, I have a duty and an obligation to be rich then, so I can help more people. And I know there's probably a left movement that would completely fucking disagree with that. But I always think about the more success that I can generate, the more people I can help. And I'm pretty cool with that. So if you don't like it, I don't care.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's been said. Lawrence, amazing chat, mate. I really appreciate you coming down to the office and joining us today. We got a lot out of it, but much appreciated, bud.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Property Banter. Please like, share, subscribe. We'll have Lawrence's details if you want to get in touch with him in the bio. And of course, until next time, take care.